Ray Lewis loves the turf here in Baltimore.
Well, they got to ship that in from someplace because obviously he can't be pulling the field turf off. But I tell you what, always starting out the game with Ray Lewis, it's always an emotional experience.
Ken Whisenhunt, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, he's brought the Cardinals back to respectability. But the last two seasons, last year and this year, it's been tough for him. Across the way, John Harbaugh. In his fourth season, he's made the playoffs 3 years in a row. Now the Ravens looking to take that next step. They were 12-4 last season, but didn't get a home playoff game.
Well, and those expectations that they bring in, that's what made last week's loss to Jacksonville on the road so disappointing. This team is as good as any in the AFC, but they've got to find a way to win on the road. They're pretty good here at home.
The Ravens have won the coin toss and have chosen to defer.
Which is interesting when you're as good on defense as the Ravens are. As a coach, you're very comfortable in doing that.
They haven't given up a point on a first possession this season. Billy Cundiff will kick off. LaRod Stevens howling. One of the best return men in the NFL is deep. Cundiff with 23 touchbacks this season, make it 24. Came into the game tied for fourth in the league. And there comes Kevin Cobb, leading the Arizona Cardinals offense on the field. The offensive line needs to do a good job of protecting him today.
They are a good run blocking line, and that needs to show up today against the Ravens. On the back end, it's very important that they're able to challenge this secondary of the Ravens with some deep balls.
Beanie Wells, who left the game last week just before halftime with a knee problem, is okay to go. Three wide receivers as the Cardinals start from the 20. Early Doucette motions. Short drop by Cobb, being pushed out of the pocket. And down he goes. The ball comes loose. And it looks like the Cardinals have recovered. Jarrett Johnson with the sack.
Jarrett Johnson coming from the backside. Anytime as a quarterback you begin to roll out, particularly going to your left as right-hander, you got to just know there's got to be someone chasing me. Always a risky business pulling up and trying to reset to throw.
The recovery, the fumble by the tackle Levi Brown. And the ball back to the 10. It's 2nd and 20. Cobb to put it up again. This time he gets time, completes it to LaRod Stevens howling, and he's out of bounds at the 16-yard line, close to the 17. Picked up 6 on the play. Before the game,
there'll never be another defense that ever outplay this. That's why we number one across the board, because we play for each other. So today, we in our backyard. We at the crib now. We at the crib now. Let's sacrifice everything we got for one another. Y'all know what we do on 3. Let's hunt now.
As holding 29 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Jeff Triplett, our referee today. There was a flag on that last play.
Well, the 5-yard bump rule, and he's got a right there. He had him. He was fine till the last minute. Once he got even, you could see that pull of the jersey. That's going to get called every time.
That's on the cornerback, Cary Williams, and it gives the Cardinals a first down. From the 15-yard line. Beanie Wells gets a couple of yards up to the 18-yard line. And let's check out this outstanding Baltimore Ravens defense. 2 big tackles up front in Cody and Nada.
Yeah, it's awful tough to run on the inside against the Baltimore Ravens. The thing that jumps out of you, the dynamic player at every level. Nada, you talked about. Ray Lewis at linebacker, obviously. Ed Reed on the back end. They've got dynamic players at every single level.
It's Beanie Wells again, and a good hole. Gets up close to the 25-yard line. Pickup of 7 on the play. Wells seems to be running pretty well.
Getting him back in the lineup is going to be key. We talk about it every week, Sam. The ability to run the ball that allows you then the play-action fake. They're going to need big plays down the field against this Raven defense. To think they're going to go 10, 12 plays, that's hard to do. The run needs to set up the play-action pass for big plays down the field.
2 tight ends in and the fullback. On 3rd and less than a yard, Beanie Wells goes outside and turns the corner. And picks up close to 5 on the play, a first down up at the 29-yard line. Ed Reed came over to make the tackle on Beanie Wells.
You've already talked about the interior of this Ravens line is so big and beefy. Haloti Ngata inside, Cody. This guy's just a mountain of a man. Corey Reddy. If they're going to run the ball, it's going to have to be a lot like what we just saw. They're going to have to get to the edges.
Alfonso Smith is in at running back for the Cardinals. Bob rolls, being pressured, and his pass is broken up. Trying to get it to Larry Fitzgerald, and it was batted away. Good play by Ladarius Webb, the cornerback. The feeling is that Cobb is not as accurate when he's on the move.
Well, no quarterback really is. Very few are. That Aaron Rodgers kind of separates himself from the crowd because he is very good on the move. When we visited with Kevin Cobb, it was all about he's got to get his footwork right. That means in the pocket. We've already seen him roll outside the pocket to get away from the rush, but him executing in the pocket and his footwork is going to be key today.
Out of the shotgun on 2nd and 10. Everybody out. Pressure on Cobb. And he gets rid of it, and it's caught. Up close to the first down. It looks like it is a first down. Early Doucette, who was 2nd in the league in 3rd down catches. This one was a 2nd down play, and Cobb got up limping.
Here's the key we just talked about, Kevin Cobb. Timing. Now he gets flushed out of the pocket. That's different than the rollout we just saw. Now you're seeing the best of Kevin Cobb. Look at the way this ball comes flying in here. Under duress, throwing off his back foot. That takes a heck of an arm.
First down for the Cardinals up at the 39. Straight ahead for a couple of yards with Chester Taylor carrying. Let's go down to the field to Laura Oakland.
Thank you, Sam. Terrell Suggs said the idea today is to get Kevin Cobb frustrated and flustered by showing him lots of different looks. Kevin knows that, of course. He said what he has to do is make sure he gets the ball out of his hands quickly, not take 3 or 4 seconds to develop a play. He said that is all this front 7 needs.
Thanks, Laura. Laura will be handling the sidelines throughout the game. On 2nd and 7. Chester Taylor in at running back, and a flea flicker. Cobb with time, puts it up, and it is incomplete.
You aren't going to fool Ed Reed on the back end with a flea flicker like that. He is all over it. Right here, you see the receiver break down a little bit. Okay, run. No, now I'm going to go vertical. The good news is they got Ed Reed in behind it. Anytime Kevin Cobb comes out to throw the ball, he's got to know where Ed Reed is, because this guy's going to take it away from you if you don't locate it.
Try to get it to Andre Roberts on the last play. 3 wide receivers in. The tight end is Rob Hausler, a good receiving tight end. And Chester Taylor moves into the slot. Blitz coming. Cobb in trouble. They got him. Paul Kruger.
Coming from the inside, a good inside pass rush presence. Anytime you can get that done, that is so tough on a quarterback. We talk about Kevin Cobb. Can you get your feet set? It's one thing to come from the outside, but when it's coming right down the pipe, it's awful hard to get into that rhythm.
A one-time Raven, Dave Zastadil with a punt, and it's brought back by Ladarius Webb, and he's hit hard as he crossed the 35. Webb shaking up on the play, and now he's up and okay. Hard hit here on Ladarius Webb on the return. Stuart Bradley, number 52, with a big hit. Webb got up and was okay on the sideline. There he is.
Okay is a relative term.
That's right.
He's not as good as he was a minute ago, but he is okay.
Ravens start from the 36. Ray Rice, who carried only 8 times Monday night, gets the handoff. Ravens offense looking for improvement. Offensive line, it's a line that's been put together. They're still getting to know one another.
They're without Ben Grubbs. That hurts them a little bit. They need Torrey Smith at wide receiver to be that complement to Anquan Boldin. Be that guy that can make the big play down the field.
On 2nd and 6, Rice splits out. Short drop by Flacco, completes to the tight end Ed Dixon. Up to the 45-yard line. Cardinals on defense use a 3-4. Darnell Dockett, they need a pass rush from him.
As they transition into this Steelers style of play on the back end, Adrian Wilson, one of the best, and their first-round draft choice, Patrick Peterson. I thought he was the best player coming out of last year's draft.
Joey Porter is down today with a knee injury. Sam Acho making his first NFL start. That's Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator of the Cardinals. Here's Ray Rice cutting it back, and he almost broke it for a big one. He gets a first down. The safety, Rashad Johnson, brought down Ray Rice.
This is what Ray Rice does as he goes to the perimeter of their defense. He stalls, he sees it overflow. He's constantly looking for that cutback. This is where Ray Rice is so dangerous on the cutbacks and catching the ball out of the backfield.
Line up with full house backfield. Anquan Boldin, the former Cardinal, peels off. And Rice spinning away from one man, gets down to the 45-yard line. He picked up 3 on the play. So Monday night after the game, go ahead.
Well, just coming from the backside, you cannot miss an opportunity to get Ray Rice in the backfield. Here it's a missed tackle. We just talked about how good he is about cutting back against a defense. Once it flows, you've got to be able to take advantage of a hit in the backfield.
In the aftermath of the loss in Jacksonville, we're seeing Rice get the ball a lot early.
And we're going to see a lot more of it too.
Flacco with a drop and time. Puts it up deep and too long. Try to go to Torrey Smith. Time for our first update of the day, and for that, we go back to the studio to Kurt Menefee.
And the Vikings get on the board first against Carolina. That's Percy Harvin with a 10-yard touchdown run out of the backfield. They came off a Cam Newton fumble, and just like that, the Vikings are up 7-0. Sam and Brian.
Versatile guy, that Percy Harvin. Line him up in the backfield.
I was very impressed with Christian Ponder in his first start last year. Of all teams against the Green Bay Packers, seemed very poised.
3rd and 7. Flacco goes outside too high for Anquan Boldin. So a couple of passes thrown by Joe Flacco early, missed connection.
And that was the issue last week, Sam, against Jacksonville. They had 9 3-and-outs to open the game the first half against Jacksonville, and a lot of it had to do on 3rd down. They just couldn't convert on 3rd down. Disappointing not to be able to get that first one here.
Hard to imagine they went the entire first half without a first down. Sam Cook, outstanding punter, puts it up. The end-over-end kick is returned on the play by Patrick Robinson. The rookie loves to bring it back, and it was brought down. Cardinals go on offense. Watch out for Larry Fitzgerald when they have the ball. What was along the sideline? John Harbaugh talking to his special teams coordinator, Jerry Rossberg.
Once a special teams coach, always a special teams coach. John Harbaugh, one of the best in the business for a long time, always able to add that perspective.
Ravens start from the 13, their second possession. Kevin Cobb has been sacked twice already. He brings Early Doucette in. Rod Stevens howling, gets a good block, takes it outside. Boy, he's got great quickness. And he gets across the 20. Jameel McClain with the tackle, pickup of 9.
Talked about Kevin Cobb having to get his feet right. Well, this is a tough group to do that with, even on the best of days. Getting flushed out of the pocket, awful difficult as a quarterback against the Baltimore Ravens to get yourself set and run an orchestrated offense.
Sacked twice, hit a couple of times. Beanie Wells is back in the backfield. Motion Andre Roberts. And it's Wells. Picked up a good block. And steps out of bounds. Up at the 27, close to the 28-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play. Cardinals are running the ball pretty well to start the game.
And they're running into a loaded box. And by that I mean they're bringing down the secondary on a regular basis. Ray Lewis got to get back into the game. This is not good for the Ravens fans. I don't imagine Ray will be out too long. But the Ravens are dropping down secondary people almost on every snap, almost daring the Cardinals to throw the ball down the field.
Prescott Burgess, number 54, replaces Ray Lewis at linebacker. Short drop by Cobb, and he throws to Fitzgerald, who breaks a tackle. Fitzgerald heading for the end zone is caught as he gets to the 10-yard line and brought down by Kerry Williams.
This is exactly what I'm talking about when you look at the secondary. Right here, they brought Pollard down into the box to stop the run. That leaves open access coverage in behind it. Larry Fitzgerald on a quick little slant or a deep slant there, and it always surprises you to see the speed that Larry Fitzgerald has given his size.
66-yard gain down to the 6-yard line. The Cardinals have had a lot of big yardage plays this season. They've had 3 of 70 or more. They've had now 6 of 45 or more. First and goal. Beatty Wells. Nothing there. And that time the Ravens defense really stout. Terrell Suggs leading the charge.
Always surprised me. Like I said, of course, Larry Fitzgerald, so big. Such a big target. But watch the stride on this guy. Because he's so big, you don't think he's that fast, but he's got such a fluid stride for such a big man. That's where a lot of those big plays come from.
Loss of a yard on that last play, second and goal. Will Larry Fitzgerald score a touchdown to add to his charity donations? The pass outside off the hands of Early Doucette. Brings up third and goal. Chris Carr was covering on the play. As Ray Lewis continues to be worked on the bench in some pain. Flexing that right arm, right shoulder.
Be interesting to see if Arizona wants to go for this on 4th down. That would dictate whether what you do on 3rd down if you're willing to make it 4-down territory. On the road, down here, they'd love to come away with 7 as opposed to settling for 3.
Chester Taylor in the backfield. Cobb, big rush, 3rd sack of the game. Terrell Suggs with his 6th of the season. He leads the Ravens.
We said in the open, you cannot leave this guy unattended. One-on-one is not going to work with Terrell Suggs. Got to put it back there, turn the guard out, put the tight end presence, but one-on-one matchups, the Ravens spend the entire week scheming, hoping to get that type of one-on-one matchup with Terrell Suggs.
Jay Feely is only 4 for 7 this season. Attempts from 32, and this one is through. The Arizona Cardinals score first. The big play set up the field goal. Ray Lewis here, Coach.
Ray Lewis, and watch the right tackle, Brandon Keith, come off at the last minute, and boom, right there. Kind of pops his head back. Hopefully that's nothing more than just maybe a stinger with the shoulder. He's up and moving around. That's a good sign.
Looks like the medical staff has left him, and he is sitting by himself now. That's David Reed, who's back deep to receive the kickoff from Jay Feely. Taking on the run from the 4-yard line. Reed is tripped up. Excellent play, excellent coverage. Alphonso Smith, the backup running back, with a tackle. Arizona Cardinals with the early lead. Second possession of the game for the Ravens. And there, Ray Lewis testing his strength.
That's a good sign.
Now he's not being punished there. Cutting back, Ray Rice. Nice run by Rice across the 25, a first down. Rashad Johnson in on the stop, a gain of 11 on the play.
Once again, we're going to see as he approaches the line, you've got to have gap integrity. He cuts back against the body of the defense. You've got to maintain your gap in any defense. Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator, says that's the biggest issue right now. We're not keeping our gap integrity. Everybody has to do their job.
Ray Horton in his first year as defensive coordinator. 4 carries, 25 yards for Ray Rice. Rice again. This time not much there. He scrambles forward for a couple of yards. Time for game break. As always, standing by, Kurt Menefee.
Well, they cleared the snow off the field at the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Dolphins, hey, no problem. On the road, Tony Sparano's team trying to get the first win of the season. Steve Slayton puts them up 7-0. Sam, Brian, and Laura.
Thanks, Kurt. Brandon Marshall saying guaranteed that Miami would win that game.
Yeah, long list of smart things said by Brandon Marshall.
On 2nd and 8. Off the play fake. Flacco puts it up. Too high for the fullback, Vontae Leach. Off his hands. Flacco off to a rough start here.
Well, the problem becomes you get out of rhythm. They're trying to run the ball, clearly, but it doesn't take much to get you off rhythm. Last week, we go back to the Jacksonville game. They said you didn't run the ball enough. Well, look, you only had 25 plays, and 8 of them, 9 of them were on 3rd down. So when you look at the ratio, yeah, they tried to run. They just didn't have the ball enough.
3rd and 8. And the Ravens have not been great on 3rd down situations, but here, completion to Torrey Smith. And the rookie wide receiver out of Maryland, 2nd-round draft pick, gets a 14-yard first down. With Lee Evans still out, and he continues to try to work his way back, Smith becomes very important.
Here you can see Smith inside, just a 2-level throw. They brought a guy underneath, fine little soft zone in behind it. This guy has tremendous speed. They're just looking for consistency of plays like that to help them out.
At the 42, it's Rice. Goes through the first level and gets across midfield. Rice is not a big man, but he has surprising power.
And he's got great balance. You can see that here as he fights his way through the box. Watch, they got a whole bunch of folks in here, but watch what happens. He's so low to the ground, he gets hit, but he doesn't lose his balance and just keeps churning for the extra yards.
Ricky Williams replaces Ray Rice. He battles straight ahead, but gets only back to the line of scrimmage. Calais Campbell, number 93, and on the tackle for the Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals won their opening game against Carolina. Since then, they've lost 5 in a row. 3 of them were close losses, 3 points or fewer. The last 2 losses have been by a wider margin. They're trying to find a way to get things straightened out. It's Ricky Williams again. This time he bursts through, breaks some tackles, and keeps going. Good run by Ricky Williams. Sam Acho caught up with him. Gain of 24 by Ricky Williams.
It's just missed tackles. You can see down the field here, Ricky Williams able to get that explosive yard. Had a big fumble last week that obviously was very hurtful in the loss to Jacksonville, but just the sheer power of Ricky Williams and missed tackles. You can build that gap defense I talk about by the way of the Arizona Cardinals, but when you get someone there, you got to tackle them.
Ravens now averaging 7.5 yards per carry with 8 runs for 60 yards. Ray Rice back in and picks up 5 on the play. We've come to the end of the first quarter. The Ravens fail to score, but they've been moving the ball well on the ground, and they're threatening. End of the first quarter. Cardinals lead the Ravens 3-0.
The chess match between offensive coordinator Cam Cameron and Cardinal defensive coordinator Ray Horton. Always an interesting matchup, very familiar with one another. They would love nothing more to continue to run the ball here.
Second quarter begins with Ray Rice picking up a first down inside the 15-yard line. The Ravens have run 15 plays, 10 runs, 7 of 9 plays on this drive on the ground.
And it's just getting to the outside again. The Cardinals keep building this box to stop the run. There's a whole lot of folks here, and he just continues to pound away. Cam Cameron knows they need to run the ball more. That has been the key to their success. They play good defense, they run the ball. The last few years, they've gotten away from that. No more than that this year. He knows they've got to run the ball more.
On first down, it's Rice looking for an opening. It's a little bit, not much, maybe a yard. The Ravens have been good at scoring in the red zone. The problem is they haven't been scoring all that many touchdowns.
But red zone efficiency, particularly, remember they're a 4-2 team now. It's all about scoring efficiency. Yes, you want touchdowns, but the key is to come away with some type of score, even if it's a field goal. That's a big part of their success, particularly as good as they are on defense.
Yeah, they're 18 for 20 and putting points on the board in the red zone. Off the pump fake, Flacco, nobody open. Now he throws, and he's caught by Anquan Bolden at the 2-yard line. Good throw by Flacco, put it in a great spot, and Bolden with a good hands. A gain of 12.
You're just drawing this one up in the dirt. Joe Flacco able to keep the play alive, looking for the fade route. No, now I'll turn. Always come back to the quarterback, come back to the quarterback. Excellent veteran move by Bolden.
On first and goal, nothing there for Ray Rice.
Flacco just using his size. And look at the strength. He's under duress there. He had to move around. Joe Flacco has the size, the strength, and the accuracy to try to pull that off.
And he went against the young cornerback, Jefferson.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was
Jefferson fell down.
Yeah, well, that helps in the coverage a little bit too. But it was a classic. Route breaks down, work back to the quarterback, give him an area to throw the ball.
2 tight ends in, Pitta and Dixon. And there's movement on the line. False start.
False start. Number 78 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's on the left tackle, Bryant McKinney.
This is a killer. This is at home in particular. This is the kind of thing that drives head coaches nuts. You're down on the 2 or 3 yard line, and by a mental error, you now back yourself up, because we just talked about, yes, red zone efficiency is important, but anytime you have a chance to score a touchdown, you can't come away missing that opportunity, and now they've got just that much farther to go.
Second and goal from the 8. Flacco gets time, throwing, almost intercepted.
Adrian Wilson missing a huge, you talk about missed opportunities, a huge opportunity. He might have gone the distance, and he knows it. You're going to see him down in here to run stopping in the front, but now he follows with the tight end, falls off the route. I'm not quite sure Flacco saw Wilson fall back into it. That thing was going to be a pick six going the other way.
Here's third and goal on the 14th play of this drive for the Ravens. The 3 wide receivers in. Blitz coming. Flacco gets rid of it. Incomplete. Try to get it to Torrey Smith. With Darrell Washington and Adrian Wilson blitzing on the play, Flacco had to get rid of it.
Gutsy call. Look at this total sellout pressure. That allows nobody on the back end. All you need to do is just find somebody, because it was a total blitz. Joe Flacco not able to get the ball quite where he needed it. Gutsy call by Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals.
Billy Cundiff will attempt a 26-yard field goal. And it's right through. So the Ravens get down to the Cardinals' 2-yard line. Made a mistake on the penalty. Cards defense stiffened up. Game tied 3-3.
Be it firing up Dockett here. Yeah. They really count on his veteran leadership.
Joey Porter bothered by a knee problem. Let's also talk about the age of the linebackers on the Arizona Cardinals and the need to get some of those younger linebackers in there.
Well, they got Sam Ocho in today because Joey Porter's hurt. That's good for them in terms of getting that seasoning that you're talking about with their young outside linebacker.
And bringing it out from 8 yards deep is LaRod Stevens howling. And a good return across the 20 up to the 23-yard line. Cardinals and Ravens tied 3-3. Fox tonight, The Simpsons' all-new Treehouse of Horror is finally here. The Halloween tradition lives on with 4 terrifying tales you'll absolutely die for. The Simpsons' all-new Treehouse of Horror tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox. Cardinals start from the 23. They've had balance in their offense. Beanie Wells carries to the 27. 4 on the play. Elodie Nada with the tackle.
This is a big physical line that the Arizona Cardinals have, and they have the opportunity to push just those types of runs to get this thing into a manageable down and distance, because the last thing you want to do is be in the 3rd and long against the Ravens.
Ray Lewis is back in at linebacker for the Ravens. Brandon McKinney is in at nose tackle, replacing Terrence Cody. Cobb checking off. 2 tight ends in. Off the fake. Cobb pulls it down, then throws, completes to Jeff King, the tight end. Nice move by King and a first down up to the 45-yard line. Pickup of 18 on the play.
Great job by Kevin Cobb. Watch this. Checking the play action fake, having to step underneath the rush, and then rather than just take off and run, having himself in body position to pull off the throw at the last minute like this. You'd much rather throw it to the guy, let him get tackled instead of me tackled. That's a good, smart move on Kevin Cobb's part.
9 passes, 8 runs for the Cardinals, and the Cardinals call a timeout. Cardinals hanging in there on the road where they haven't won in their last 10. Arizona Cardinals won their first game of the season, then went on the road, lost by 1 point to Washington, lost by 3 to Seattle, came home, had a lead over the Giants, blew a 10-point lead, and then got beaten badly by Minnesota. Last week, it was 17-14. And then Pittsburgh blew it open late.
Well, that's good news, bad news. Good news is they're tight games. They're in a lot of these games.
Yeah.
The bad news is they lost them.
And here, another tight one. Full house backfield. Off the play fake. Cobb steps up. Goes short to Jeff King. And the tight end is pulled out of bounds by Jameel McClain. And a flag comes in late. So late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, this was kind of a bonehead move by Pollard. Came up and made a good hit, but the extracurricular, I don't know if they're going to get him for.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Tony, number 31 in the defense. 15 yards added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Good hit, you know, was in bounds, but now let it go. Why do you got to get up and now leave your team at risk by doing that? That's just not smart.
Number 73 reports as eligible receiver. Number 73 is eligible.
Jeremy Bridges, the tackle, is in as an eligible receiver. Lines up on the right side. Ball at the Ravens 31. Again, the play fake. Cobb gets time. Nobody open. And he throws it away. Closest man was Larry Fitzgerald. Time for another update. For that, let's join Kurt Menefee.
Well, Carolina caps off its longest drive of the season, 90 yards, with a scramble by Cam Newton and a 1-yard touchdown pass to Jeremy Shockey. His first as a Panther. It's all even at 7 against the Vikings in the second quarter. Sam and Brian.
I like watching Cam Newton play.
It's been fun to watch him develop as a pro quarterback. Not only doing the things that he does well, but that a pro quarterback has to do to be successful.
There's 2nd and 10 for the Cardinals. And flags fly.
False start. 81 to the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's on Jim Dre. Backup tight end. He goes off. Jeff King and Rob Hausler. 2 other tight ends come on the field. Todd Heap is inactive today, and that's got to disappoint Todd Heap, plus Baltimore fans who loved him
Yeah, well, Todd had a late night last night, obviously, but Todd really one of the popular players to have played here in Baltimore. I know he's dying with the fact that he's not playing today.
On 2nd and 15, a wobbly pass. I don't know if he was tipped or if his arm was hit. And what a classy thing Todd Heap and his wife did in the Baltimore Sun on Friday. They took out an ad thanking the fans of Baltimore for the 10 years that Todd had here.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen that before, but it doesn't surprise you. Todd, again, one of the classy, one of the most enjoyable players I had the privilege of coaching while I was here in Baltimore. That does not surprise me that he would do something like that.
A terrific player. Paul Kruger is in as a pass rusher, and Pernell McPhee for the Ravens. Cobb on 3rd and 15, low pass, incomplete, intended for early Doucette. Well covered by Jimmy Smith, who's healthy once again.
That procedure penalty was huge because, like the Ravens that took themselves out of a touchdown or at least an enhanced chance to get a touchdown, that procedure penalty on Dre moved them out of field goal. They would have attempted the field goal, in my opinion, had they not been pushed back. That was a big, big penalty.
On the punt, Dave Zastudil. Chris Carr is in as the deep man to receive the punt. Ladarius Webb was shaken up earlier on the last punt. Ray Rice on the sideline here, but thus far in the first half, he's run the ball well. Monday night, he only carried 8 times. Already in the first half today, he's had 9 carries. Ravens have rushed for 100 yards.
Well, that last drive allowed them to stay on schedule the way they want to be running the ball.
Ricky Williams in the game, and he carries for a couple of yards. Calais Campbell on the stop. Here's what Ray Rice has been doing today.
And this is why they want to get the ball to Ray Rice. Again, small in stature, but this guy is powerful. He's got balance, great explosion. He's also very good out of the backfield. He has a way of extending a play, getting those positive yards that leave you in those 3rd and shorts.
He wants to touch the ball 25 to 30 times, has runs and catches. 2nd and 7. Ricky Williams, flag on the play as he gets up to the 17-yard line. Cardinals look like they may have been offside.
Offside. Defense, number 90, line up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Darnell Dockett, number 90.
Yeah, certainly not a jump. Had to have lined up. Couldn't really see from that angle, obviously. But you got to constantly key where the ball is. And this is a big penalty because now your playbook on 2nd short is a whole lot better than it was on 2nd long.
2 tight ends to the right side for the Ravens. Off the play fake, Flacco in trouble. Darnell. The ball pops loose and is recovered by the Cardinals. Looked like O'Brien Schofield got in for the sack.
Great on the backside. Joe Flacco trying to secure the ball. Gets his hand underneath it at the last second. And now he's scrambling. He's in the grass. It's like, how can I get to the ball?
Illegal
Somebody
formation.
jump on that.
Offense. Number 78 was not on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. 1st and 10, Arizona.
1st and goal for Arizona at the 2-yard line. Fumble recovery by the Cardinals.
Stunning turn of events, obviously. The Arizona Cardinals struggling a little on offense. The defense playing well. After a long drive, the Ravens come back in and now turn the ball over, putting it on the 2-yard line.
Flacco talking to the head coach. Cardinals only their 8th takeaway of the season, but a big chance to grab the lead here. Two tight ends in. Beanie Wells angling toward the goal line, gets to the 1-yard line. Haruki Nakamura in on the stop.
They would love to run the ball in here. The reason I circled Larry Fitzgerald, they will break him out of the formation, and at any time they feel like they've got a favorable matchup, they're going to take it. I found it interesting that it was Ed Reed that went out and took Larry Fitzgerald.
Again, Beanie Wells over the top for the touchdown. Extra wrestling going on at the bottom of the pile, but Beanie Wells with his 7th rushing touchdown of the season.
He goes vertical here over the pile. Once you break the plane, doesn't matter what happens. Ooh, that's got to hurt falling on your head. You're lucky more than just the ball popped off. Oh my goodness. But once he crosses the goal line, doesn't matter. The ball breaks the plane of the goal line. It's a touchdown.
Beanie, hope you're okay there. It looks like he's okay. 7 rushing touchdowns for Beanie Wells. Extra point. Jay Feely is good. Cardinals have the lead again. This time it's by 7. Joe Flacco concerned. Beanie Wells happy. So where's the offense? Joe Flacco wants to know, and Ravens fans want to know. Darnell Dockett looking to put pressure on the Ravens quarterback. The Cardinals off to a good start in this game. Jay Feely to kick it off. David Reed from 4 yards deep. Brought down as he crosses the 15 up to the 17. This November, Fox Sports steps into the octagon with an epic heavyweight title fight as undefeated world champion Cain Velasquez squares off against the #1 ranked contender in the world, Junior Dos Santos, in the must-see live event you can only catch on Fox. Dos Santos versus Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Live Saturday, November 12th on Fox.
Well, these two feel like they're in the octagon right now,
right.
Because after that turnover, they've got to find some offensive productivity here.
Rice waited for something to open up and didn't get much. O'Brien Schofield made the stop. O'Brien Schofield, one of those young linebackers we talked about, looking for playing time. Second-year man out of Wisconsin. Sam Acho started. Now Schofield, who had the sack earlier, is in the lineup.
And this is a linebacker-driven defense. Again, as we said, Ray Horton bringing in the Pittsburgh Steelers style of defense. You're familiar with terms like players like Woodley, obviously, and Harrison. They're trying to develop those young linebackers along those lines.
You got to look at Joey Porter, one of those guys who used to be with Pittsburgh and Miami. Flacco, nobody open. Takes off. Good run by Flacco. Brought down by Darrell Washington. But very close to the first down.
They bring the pressure from the outside here, but they lose contain as he steps up. He's got no place to go. They're all over Bolden, as you can see there. And then Joe Flacco, who is a good athlete. Again, long-legged, you don't think of him as an athletic quarterback, but he is a good athlete coming out of Delaware, and Joe Flacco is capable of making plays like that with his legs.
His longest run of the season, 10 yards. On first down, Flacco in trouble, threw it behind Ray Rice, and then took a big hit. Paris Lennon on the hit on Joe Flacco.
Well, and it comes late. They peel off on the inside, and we've said it many times. Pressure from the inside is the toughest for a quarterback. He can step up under that wide rush when you have the outside ends, but stepping up into the pocket and then there's somebody there in your face taking shots at you makes it very uncomfortable for a quarterback.
Flacco just 3 for 9 in the game for 30 yards. And that time it's batted down. David Carter, the nose tackle, while he was being blocked, reached up with his left arm and batted the pass down.
You begin to hear a bit of the boos from the Ravens fans here. Joe Flacco a little bit under siege. He's obviously been unbelievably successful for him, but Ray Horton knows that they need to put pressure. You can see his background, again, heavily coming from the Steelers, the Dick LeBeau style of play. Told us that Dick LeBeau schematically is his mentor, that Jimmy Johnson is his philosophical, mentor, and he's seeing it right here.
Everybody out, trouble for Flacco, and he gets rid of it to Ray Rice. Rice with a catch is brought down at the 34-yard line, short of a first down. Fans get on the Ravens, because right now, things not going well for the home team.
Again, third down is the sticking point for the Ravens. You can run the ball effectively.
Penalties decline. Fourth down.
The adage is typically you want to average 4 yards a run. Well, you can run on first down for 4, run on second for 4. You still have to convert on a third down. And it's the third downs that are really catching the Ravens right now.
Sam Cook to punt it away. Patrick Peterson is deep. He's had 1 return for a touchdown this season, 89 yards, the opening game of the season. Peterson takes off and breaks 1 tackle and another. Outstanding return by Peterson. He's still going. They're going to have trouble catching him. And he's going all the way. Touchdown. The rookie first-round draft pick, Patrick Peterson, his second punt return for a touchdown. This one is 82 yards.
Sam, when I saw this young man at the Combine last year and watched his workout, then looked at the tape, I had him #1 on my draft board. This guy is a dynamic talent. Watch the way this guy has got strength, he's got speed, he's got balance. He reminds me a bit of Ed Reed coming out. They play him at corner. You have 5 missed tackles here. A lot of that has to do with the strength of Patrick Peterson. I'm not sure he wouldn't even be better at safety, because now you can't throw away from him. All over the field, dynamic player.
Oh, and he thinks he can take it all the way every time he gets his hands on the ball. Right now, the Arizona Cardinals are making things happen. They forced a turnover, converted it into a touchdown, and then the punt return for a touchdown. And Arizona with a 17-3 lead.
Coming off the loss against Jacksonville. And that was a surprise. You find me the guy that picked Jacksonville to beat Baltimore. Just didn't exist. I know it was on the road. And so the question had to be, how would they respond to that? Because obviously Arizona's been struggling. You just went through it, Sam. They're 1-5. The Baltimore Ravens, many people, and I'm one of them, all but biased, felt like maybe they're the best team in the AFC. And okay, you can go on the road and play Jacksonville and not play well. But to play at home and to have the mistakes they've made here, they've created an uphill battle for themselves here. You can always tell from the fans. A little bit of booze sprinkling in. They're anxious about where their Ravens are right now.
And what about the players' confidence right now?
Well, it comes on many different levels. Obviously, the confidence that they have in Joe Flacco, the special teams, which again has been a strength for them. Playing great defense is great, but you got to have all 3 phases of it. And right now, offensively and special teams, creating an uphill battle for the Baltimore Ravens. Right here, I just fell in love with this guy. Great hip flexion. I mean, this guy could be a corner. He can come in and out of breaks, and a very instinctive player. Like an Ed Reed, just seems to be everywhere, and he had the elite return skills. We just saw an example of it.
He's kick. Brought back by David Reed from 6 yards deep. Reed buries his head, drives forward to the 19-yard line. Next week, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Early games, the San Francisco 49ers, 5-1, take on the Washington Redskins. The Saints will take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in NFC South matchup. Then, in America's Game of the Week, first meeting since the Super Bowl, the Giants and the Patriots. Some of you will see the Cardinals host the Rams. I'll be there with Chad Pennington. The coach will be rejoining Tom Brenneman. They'll go to San Diego, see the Packers and the Chargers. That pass was picked off by Richard Marshall. On first down, a turnover. Another turnover for the Ravens.
Well, they come out throwing this thing. Torrey Smith right in his hands. You can't put that one on Joe Flacco. He hit Torrey Smith square in the hands. Looked like he turned his eyes. He was getting ready to take off with the ball. Never had it in. Boy, another huge turnover.
popped through his hands, and Marshall right there to take it away. The Arizona Cardinals had 7 takeaways coming into the game, and they've had a couple here. Can't blame Flacco on that one.
Kevin Cobb's got to be very careful with what he does with the ball here as well now. You're in field goal range.
2 tight ends. Rod Stevens-Howard cuts back. Pulled down. Terrell Suggs, Jameel McClain, and on the stop, Ray Lewis, who was out earlier with a stinger, back in. Pickup of 2 on the play. Does the defense have to come up with something big here? Is it on the defense now to
That's
make a big play?
That's an excellent point, Sam. It does change your mentality. If Chuck Pagano, the defensive coordinator, knowing, look, we're fighting uphill here. We got to do something to create a turnover. Just holding them to 3 points doesn't do us any good.
3 wide receivers for the Cardinals. Cobb turns and throws to Fitzgerald for a first down, and he battles for a couple of extra yards down to the 10-yard line. 14-yard pickup.
You don't think Larry Fitzgerald is a big, powerful man? Watch this. Catches the ball and then just comes. Look how strong he is. Look at the size of this. Pollard comes screaming in here, had every right to put him on his back, and almost just bounces off him. Look at this. That is one powerful, big receiver.
First and goal at the 10. As the Cardinals shift with 2 tight ends, both to the left. Beanie Wells trying to get outside, nothing doing. Well played by Terrell Suggs. Suggs has had 4 tackles for loss in this game.
Well, let's go back. I keep coming back to this. I can't watch enough. Look at the sheer size of this guy. Pollard bounces off, and now he's got 3 guys on him. He's still refusing to go down. He's not going to give the ball up. That's why the guy is a perennial Pro Bowler.
Oh, no doubt about that. 2 catches in the game, 79 yards for Larry Fitzgerald. Second and goal. Cobb out of the shotgun. Throwing, touchdown, early Doucette. Touchdown pass, Cobb to Doucette, and the Arizona Cardinals are about to open up a 3-touchdown lead.
That was an absolute laser shot from Kevin Cobb. The typical back shoulder throw, we hear it all the time. The DB plays high. This thing was designed all the way for the back shoulder. That thing has to be on the proverbial frozen rope. Kevin Cobb has that kind of arm. The criticism of Cobb, not quite as strong as it was when we started the day, Sam.
8th touchdown pass for Kevin Cobb this season. 3rd touchdown catch by early Doucette. Jay Feely for the extra point. Arizona Cardinals making things happen with turnovers and converting the turnovers into points.
And that's the key. It's one thing to get the turnovers, but against this Raven defense that, again, may be as good as any in the league, to be able to capitalize on that. Kevin Cobb is a guy coming out of college. He had all the credentials. He had the arm, he had the intelligence, but now he's beginning to get the rhythm of the Arizona offense.
Let's get a quick update, Brian, and go to Kurt Menefee.
And another quick touchdown pass from Cam Newton, his 2nd of the day, both to tight ends. This one a beauty. 39 yards to Greg Olsen, and Carolina leads Minnesota in the battle of rookie QBs, 14-7 in the 2nd quarter. Sam and Coach.
Thanks, Kurt. And here in Baltimore, the fans are stunned. This packed house just can't believe what they're seeing. The Arizona Cardinals forcing turnovers, forcing the Ravens into mistakes, and taking a 24-3 lead.
Yeah, it's a 1-5 team coming into your house, and everybody saw what happened on Monday night with Jacksonville. Whether you can dismiss it or not, to come home and not play better than they are right now, and the same things that hurt them on Monday night are hurting them here to a degree. You can't turn the ball over. Letting Arizona take advantage of those turnovers, very uncharacteristic for Baltimore.
David Reed on the kickoff from Jay Feely takes a knee. All right, so what's happened? A fumble by Joe Flacco on the sack, recovered by the Cardinals, turned into a touchdown. The return by Patrick Peterson for a touchdown, and then the interception by Richard Marshall turned into a touchdown by the Arizona Cardinals. Cobb to Doucette.
Flacco's got to be very careful that he doesn't try to get this all back with a single play now. A well-executed 2-minute offense is just what they'd be looking for.
Flacco throws short to Ed Dixon, the tight end, up to the 25-yard line. A pickup of 5. But the Ravens need something early before the half is over.
Well, that's why they've already gone into the no huddle. We're at 3:30. Typically, you wouldn't get into your no huddle offense, but they're down in a way they could not have anticipated. Being down here 24-3, they're going into their 2-minute inordinately early.
Dennis Pitta, the other tight end, and Dixon also in the lineup. Pick up to the 34, a first down. Gain of 9 on the play. Cam Cameron calling the plays from the sideline. Flacco out of the shotgun. Everybody out. Flacco's pass. Pitta with a beautiful catch. First down up at the 46-yard line.
Beautifully thrown ball, and what a great catch. Grabbing it in as you go down and maintaining the contact so the thing doesn't move and can be ruled an incompletion.
And a timeout called by the Cardinals.
Arizona, their second.
With that no huddle, it's as if they wanted to slow things down and maybe change some personnel on the field.
Just a great throw and catch here, and you got to be impressed with Pitta as he's going down to maintain control all the way through the catch. Joe Flacco now is well suited to run a no huddle. Remember at Delaware, he very rarely took a snap from under center, so even though that's not a staple of the Baltimore Ravens in the time that he's been here, he's very comfortable running a no-huddle offense. There are those that are suggesting that Flacco should be given more latitude to run no-huddle, do more checking at the line than he normally does in the normal structure of their offense.
From the 46, Pitta, the tight end, motions. Blitz coming. Flacco to Ray Rice, and he's hit immediately by Adrian Wilson. Gain of 3 on the play up to the 49-yard line.
Ray Hording using the timeout with head coach Ken Wisnhunt to say, look, this no huddle's up a little early. We can't just sit back and be passive. Let's dial up a little bit more pressure.
Ravens have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. That pass outside of Ray Rice. Stuart Bradley escorted him out of bounds at the Cardinals 42, but it's a first down. Gain of 9 on the play. Rice has caught 3 passes. Has run for 50 yards. The Ravens moving the ball here with that no-huddle offense. We've reached the 2-minute warning. The surprising play of the Arizona Cardinals has given them a big first-half lead. Joe Flacco is 5 for 5 on this drive. And a flag is thrown. So the ball was snapped. Ravens have all 3 timeouts remaining.
False start offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Andre Garrod, the left guard, as normally a center, as Coach Billick pointed out right at the top. Ben Grubbs has been out most of this season, and they miss him on the offensive line.
They do, and Arizona is doing a lot with their front 7, moving in and out to draw these types of procedures. Very active with their front right now.
First and 15, blitz coming. Flacco puts it up. Deep for Dixon, overthrows him. Covered by Michael Adams on the play.
Arizona very, very aggressive with their pressures right now. As you can see, they're just trying to get Joe Flacco off his timing, and it happened right there. He threw the ball before he was ready, had to throw it out of bounds because he knew he couldn't wait it out any longer. Arizona throwing a number of different pressure packages, both secondary and their linebackers.
2nd and 15 for the Ravens. pick up the blitz. Flacco's pass is caught by Anquan Bolden at close to the 31-yard line. And he's got enough for the first down. He picked up 16 on the play.
The Ravens have all 3 timeouts, so now you see them get into a huddled offense. With a minute 49, 3 timeouts, Cam Cameron's going to want a more orchestrated call. They not only want to score, they don't want to have to kick it off even and give it back to the Arizona Cardinals.
Flacco on this drive. First 5 possessions, he completed only 4 passes. That pass to Dennis Pitta. Fans looking for a flag. Darrell Washington was all over the tight end. And no flag on the play.
Great coverage by the linebacker Washington on the tight end Pitta. Fans are calling for a little bit of hold there. He may have got along with a little one there. No harm, no foul, I guess, from the officials. Maybe early, late now, that's fine. That ball had already tipped out. They were calling for it late. If they were going to call it, it probably should have been done a little earlier.
Fans saw the video replay. Flacco to Rice. Adrian Wilson takes him down. And a timeout called by the Ravens. Ball down to the 27-yard line. Well, coming up is the Visa halftime report in a little while. And the guys are feeling the Halloween theme back in the studio. I can sense that. Let's hear what's coming up from Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa halftime report, we'll have the scores and highlights from a haunting Week 8 in the NFL. Find out if Miami can do more than just scare the Giants, and can Indy end its frightful losing streak. Plus the Fox Sports ticker with up to the second stats on the Visa halftime.
Thanks, Kurt. How'd they get those faces on those pumpkins?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Well done. Huh?
I'm lucky if I could just put those triangle eyes and nose in there. If I got that done, I felt good about myself.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Tomorrow it should be a fun day. Hope the weather will be good wherever you are. Again, they pick up the blitz. Flacco in trouble. Hagen's got him. Clark Hagens takes him down. Second sack of the game for the Arizona Cardinals. They brought 2 men from the left side. They picked up 1.
He's just right here, up into here. Now we got a hand to the head, to the helmet there. I'm not quite sure why that wasn't called, but he ends up bringing him down.
Illegal contact. 21 in the defense. The 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, they got that one. They got this one. They didn't get the big one. The hands to the head of the quarterback, but that contact beyond the 5-yard range right here, that normally would bring about a penalty. Arizona dodged a mini bullet here. They got caught on the other end.
They got a 5-yard advance and a first down for the Ravens at the Cardinals 22. Patrick Peterson, the man who committed the foul. That pass for Bolden is dropped. Bolden against Peterson again. And the pass was there, but Bolden couldn't hold on.
Great matchup here. We've already talked around their first-round draft choice. Patrick Peterson has the athleticism, the jumping ability, the elite coverage skill to keep up with a real pro like Anquan Bolden. Normally this would be a matchup you'd look for, but the athleticism and coverage ability of Patrick Peterson, they're very comfortable matching him up with whomever the Ravens want to throw at him.
And that matchup shapes up again. On second down, Flacco goes the other way to Ed Dixon, who's knocked out of bounds at the 18-yard line. They pick up a 4 on the play. They bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Ravens. The Ravens will get the ball to start the second half. So they want to finish this first half with some points and perhaps get some momentum going.
And that's the key here. We've already talked about 3rd down being a tough down for the Ravens. They've picked it up since earlier on. They're at about 50% right now, converting 3 of 6. Started out miserably, building off of last Monday. He's got to be careful here. You don't want to lose at least the 3 points, given where you are right now.
Blitz coming. Flacco. Big rush. Down he goes. Cardinals coming from everywhere that time. They had Calais Campbell leading the way. It's the 3rd sack of the game.
Well, they brought the house here. Schofield on the outside. They bring the pressure inside as well. Now they're just out in man for man. like we said, Joe Flacco got to be very careful to not lose at least the possibility of a field goal. Nice job bringing the ball back into his body and securing it. You can look on the face right there going, oh my gosh, what happened here?
Paris Lennon combined with Calais Campbell, give them each half a sack.
Great sequence for the Arizona Cardinals, bringing pressure. They're still within field goal range, but denying them the touchdown and extending the distance. They now have to make this field goal.
A timeout used by the Baltimore Ravens as they get set to attempt a field goal. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy in the studio with all the scores and highlights. The Dolphins are leading the Giants 14-10. Colts going in Tennessee. And we'll see if the guys will be making more pumpkins at halftime for Halloween. Right here, Billy Cundiff, 47-yard field goal try on the hold of Sam Cook. Morgan Cox, the long snapper. The kick on the way is right through. Billy Cundiff with a strong leg has put 2 on the board for the Ravens. He's 16 for 19.
These two guys here now, I'm not sure this is what they anticipated. Obviously Ken Whisenhunt hoping for a game like this, but John Harbaugh, after the debacle on Monday night, told his troops at halftime, guys, we broke some records today, not the ones we want, in trying to get them to come back and play in an emotional game. Right now, they've got some questions. They'll regroup at halftime, but this is going to be very interesting. I'm going to be interested to see if Arizona will continue to keep the pressure packages coming at the Baltimore Ravens, given that they're up. They don't want to give them an opportunity for the big play to get back into it easily, but the pressures are definitely getting to Joe Flacco.
They've hit him. They've sacked him. Darnell Dockett. Right now, John Harbaugh and the Ravens have got to figure out what's happening offensively. Only 2 field goals here in the first half. He only got into the end zone 1 time in the game against Jacksonville as the offense continues to struggle. Cundiff, the kickoff. Rod Stevens howling from 2 yards deep. Finds an opening. He closes up and he's pulled down at about the 22-yard line. This December, 2 of the most storied conferences in all of college football wind up their seasons with 2 epic championship games for the first time in their history, and Fox Sports will bring them to you on back-to-back nights. The Pac-12 championship game Friday, December 2nd, the Big Ten championship game Saturday, December 3rd. Both games are only on Fox Sports. They should be good.
I'd be very surprised if Arizona doesn't just try to run out the clock here.
Beanie Wells finds an opening, gets to the second level, and shows some power up to the 34-yard line.
Now that could change the equation here. I think they were content to run the clock out, but now you got to, this is like a big kickoff return. I don't know what their plan. They look like now the clock's winding down. I thought they might have used the timeout to take 1 more shot to get into field goal position.
So you can hear the fan reaction here in Baltimore. The Ravens offense wasn't going. The Ravens defense wasn't dominant, but the Cardinals were the team that made the plays on defense. 2 turnovers, they turned into touchdowns. The Ravens go to the locker room to regroup. The Cardinals to talk about a way to finish the game. They've got a big lead at halftime. Cardinals lead the Ravens 24-6. Visa halftime report is next. Back in Baltimore, getting set to start the second half with the Ravens surprisingly leading 24-6. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Sam Rosen, Brian Billick, Laura Oakman, What do you look for from the Ravens in the second half?
Well, they deferred, so they get the ball first. They've got to have one good, solid drive. They obviously can't turn the ball over. Doesn't matter whether it's a big play or a 10-play drive. They need to show that they can challenge this Arizona Cardinal defense, not turn the ball over. Joe Flacco, more than anything, needs to show the confidence that he knows what he's doing, particularly on third down. One good, solid score, we got a ball game.
And my apologies, it's the Cardinals leading the Ravens. The Ravens would love to be leading at this point.
Understandable mistake. Going in the way people thought this was going to go. This one's surprising.
And especially in light of what happened Monday night. The Ravens talked about it all week, that they were going to put that one aside, come back, and play a strong game. And it hasn't unfolded that way. That strong kick by Feely for a touchback. Tough day for Joe Flacco today, Coach.
It is the chance to not only get in rhythm and come back from Monday's debacle, but the turnovers have been brutal. Now, it's not all been Joe Flacco. The thing bounces up in the air sometimes, just doesn't fall for you, but it gets awful lonely, as you can see here. It's a lonely life for a quarterback that is struggling.
Ravens start from the 20. 6 of their 7 possessions in the game have started from either the 20 or inside the 20. Flacco being rushed. Stops and throws short, and it turns into a loss of a couple of yards. Let's go down to the field. Laura Oakman standing by.
Thanks, Sam. I talked to John Harbaugh. He said pretty much one of the only things that was working offensively with those quick passes we saw the last series going into halftime. He said we're going to come out, get a lot of quick strikes, try to get the offense rolling. He said what we all know, we have to execute better and not turn the ball over.
Thanks, Laura. Loss of a couple on that last play. Again out of the shotgun. Flacco goes outside, and the tight end Dennis Pitta. He's ridden out of bounds just across the 25-yard line. Here's where the execution comes in. A 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
And that's a good thing. I mean, you work very hard to get into those manageable third downs. This should favor the Baltimore Ravens. This is exactly the kind of down and distance Joe Flacco's got to show he can convert for his team.
He's got Rice in the backfield with him. Everybody out, and the pass complete to Ed Dixon, who slips a tackle and gets some extra yardage up to the 40-yard line. And a big first down for the Ravens.
They're bringing different pressure packages here, different combination of 4-man pressures by Arizona. If they're going to continue to play zone behind it, Joe Flacco should be able to find those seams in those zones.
Torrey Smith and Anquan Bolden, the wideouts. 2 tight ends in. The handoff is to Ray Rice. And he gets up to the 44-yard line. More on what's happening at halftime. Let's go back to Laura.
Thanks, Sam. As the Cardinals front, Brian, it's what you were talking about. I asked Wisenhunt about the defensive pressures, the packages. He said if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, they're going to mix it up a little and drop it out with the pressure. He told his guys, great physical first half, but it doesn't mean a thing if you don't finish it.
Thanks, Laura. First down pass to Torrey Smith across midfield down to the Cardinals' 49-yard line. No huddle offense here for the Ravens. It was effective late in the first half as they drove down the field. Flacco 16 for 27, 125 yards. Everybody out. Deep throw for Bolden. He's got it, and he's out of bounds. Just short of the 10-yard line at the 11. Good throw by Joe Flacco.
Beautiful move by Bolden here. Watch the way he leans into the secondary and then fades away. He set this deep route up beautifully by leaning Jefferson to the inside, getting him off him, and then fading away to the outside. Excellent throw by Joe Flacco, taking him right down the rail.
Gain of 37 on the play. They spot the ball at the 12-yard line. Flacco short drop, fade into the end zone. Incomplete. And a flag on the play. Jefferson was covering Anquan Bolden on the play.
Jefferson, I think, had contact well beyond the 5-yard marker.
prior to the pass. Holding.
You're just going to see it out here. Watch him put his hands out there. He's got to hold. He's got to hold well past that contact. I believe that's what they're going to call here. It may be a bit incidental, but he had contact throughout.
Correction. The hold took place while the ball was in the air. That's interference. Defense, number 20. Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line.
That's a big
Automatic
difference.
first down.
That's a big difference as they spot the ball at the 1. So the penalty on A.J. Jefferson, and the Ravens are set up.
Just the start we said Joe Flacco needed. A drive for a score the length of the field with Joe Flacco looking good.
Haloti Ngata is in as an eligible tight end on the left side. The nose tackle. Rice carries and walks in the end zone. Touchdown Ravens.
Well, this is straight downhill. You got Ngata on the left side. That's a lot of beef. Ray Rice, that I think even I could run through. Excellent job on the left side. Adrian Wilson hesitating to come up and fill the hole. This was just the drive the Baltimore Ravens needed to come out after the first half they had. We got us a ball game.
Cundiff's extra point is good. 80-yard drive in 7 plays, 2 minutes 47 seconds, and the Ravens get into the end zone. Coach, is that dinner?
You better look like they came out of my crab traps, man. I know how to cook crabs. I'll cook crabs one time. They are the best.
I'm with you.
Look at that Obey on there. Boy, there's nothing better than crabs and Obey. And right now, John Harbaugh saying there's nothing better than that scoring drive I just saw. This is just what the Ravens needed to get back into this thing.
Billy Cundiff blasts it deep. Here comes LaRod Stevens howling. Looking for a lane, and he finds one. A good return, and a late flag. There's a flag on the play. Check it out. And the return up to the 27-yard line. Boy, Stevens howling. He's a good one. Jeff Triplett with the call.
During the return, holding 52 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Stuart Bradley called for the penalty. That wipes out some of that good return. All right, Fox Sports is the #1 football coverage in the country. And the reason why is some of the great people that work for Fox Sports. That's Drew Miller, one of our cameramen who's suffering from ALS before the game, getting together with Ray Lewis. Cardinals start from the 18. Beanie Wells across the 20 to the 21. The Ravens have scored the last 10 points of the game. And we're down 24-3. Now it's 24-13. Fans are right back in it. Haloti Ngata comes to the sideline. Arthur Jones is in. Number 97. Beanie Wells picked up a couple of blocks. Got through the first level and fights his way for a first down up to the 36-yard line. 15-yard run for Beanie Wells.
They brought Zibikowski off the backside, and he just kind of overruns it. When you bring that kind of pressure, if you can get into that second level, obviously Beanie Wells delivering his own punishment right there. Bringing those pressures can be very effective, but if you don't get home, you leave yourself vulnerable.
12 carries, 57 yards for Beanie Wells. Cardinals offense has been balanced between the run and pass. Rod Stevens howling. That time it just ran right into Jared Johnson. Johnson fighting off the block and made the stop for a loss. Loss of 2 on the play. Kevin Cobb, offensive leader for the Cardinals, 6 for 12. Beanie Wells, give him 58 yards rushing, and Larry Fitzgerald had a 66-yard pass reception earlier. 2 catches in the game for Larry Fitzgerald. 3 wide receivers in. They go inside to the Rod Stevens Howling, and he gets up to the 40-yard line. Picked up 5, making 4 on the play. And gets up a big 3rd down play. The little guy finds an opening somewhere.
He does. He's not unlike Ray Rice in his ability to step underneath tackles. He almost steps underneath Jared Johnson there. Big 3rd down for Arizona. This is where that other receiver other than Larry Fitzgerald has to show up.
And they've got 3 receivers in the game. Doucette, Andre Roberts, flag on the play. Cobb puts it up, and it's incomplete. But it was a false start on Arizona. They wanted to stop the play.
False start. 75 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's the left tackle, Levi Brown, called on the false start.
Arizona kind of dodges a bullet here because obviously they'd had a punt with the incompletion. This gives them all but with now a real 3rd and long, another opportunity to convert.
Have to get to the 47 for a 1st down. Paul Kruger and Pernell McPhee in on the defense for the Ravens. Good pass rushers. Kruger has a sack in the game.
He's going to have to throw the ball underneath and let someone run for the 1st down because they're not going to give it to him deep.
Blitz coming, and they got him. Chris Carr coming off the edge. Sacks Kevin Cobb, 4th sack of the game for the Ravens.
We saw Zibikowski come early. Now you're going to see Carr coming from the outside. Again, this wide, very hard for you to pick up this wider rusher for the back to have to scan all the way across. Kevin Cobb looked like he was surprised by it a little bit, thought somebody was going to pick him up. Nice pressure package by the Baltimore Ravens.
Dave Zastudil with a good high punt. On the return, it's Chris Carr. And Carr is brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Carr got back to the 30. Check out the flag. Right now, you can feel a
During the
sense.
return, holding number 22 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
The hold on Jimmy Smith cost the Ravens some yards on the return. You can feel a shift in momentum. The Ravens have scored the last 2 times they've had the ball. Defense came up with a big stop. And now the Ravens start from the 19. Flacco gets time, completes it to Dennis Pitta, the tight end, up to the 27-yard line. Get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL now. That's for you, Coach.
Well, I need someone needs to tell me to be quiet when you do those things. This is clearly the mode that Baltimore wants to get into. Joe Flacco in the gun.
Flacco has now hit 15 of his last 18 passes as he connects with Ed Dixon, the tight end, up to the 37-yard line.
And
so
this is not their normal MO. Like we said, he's very comfortable with this, given his college days at Delaware. This is kind of it's not a no huddle, it's a sugar huddle. Very effective the last drive. They're continuing on here.
They've gone away from the run, though. It's almost all passing now.
But it wasn't working, and you were down 24-6, so there's good reason for it.
Everybody out. Flacco wanted to throw the screen to Ray Rice, and a good job by Adrian Wilson to bat it down.
Last drive again from the gun. They spread it out. Not uncharacteristic of the Baltimore Ravens, but Joe Flacco hitting his stride with this style of offense and then being able to hand it off to Ray Rice to cap it off. They're very comfortable with this, moving in and out of it. Joe Flacco in the gun, he's probably done more of that in this game in a normal down and distance situation than he has all year long.
Flacco 19 for 31, 180 yards. On 2nd and 10, Flacco hit as he tried to throw. The ball is alive, and it's recovered by Bryant McKinney, the left tackle. That was a live ball.
Great job coming in. Obviously, the hand was not going forward, so that clearly was a fumble. The Ravens dodging a bullet here, being able to hold on to the ball.
Loss of 12 on the play, and that is a sack. Credit to Sam Acho.
These
Third sack of the game.
These two young linebackers you've been talking about, Schofield and Acho, finding very productive time in the defense.
Flacco goes deep. There's some contact down the field on the tight end Ed Dixon, but no call. He was double covered on the play.
This is the very definition of throwing up a jump ball. Dixon shooting down the middle of the field. Safety comes over the top. The corner sloughs. There's no pass interference there. They're all looking for the ball. You can see there, Considine just running across his path there. Legal play.
Sam Cook with a punt. The Cardinals come up with a big defensive stand. Here comes Patrick Peterson. He ran one back in the first half. 82 yards for a touchdown. This one is up to the 46. There is a flag on the play. But Peterson, every time he touches a ball on one of those returns, you start to think he's taking it back.
Watch the gunner here on the outside. Once you go out of bounds, you have to deliberately make an effort to get back in. A little tough. A lot of
Number
bodies
15
there.
went out of bounds on his own on the kicking team. That's a 5-yard penalty added to the end of the play. First down.
So the Cardinals try to get their offense rolling in the second half. They still have an 11-point lead. Joe Flacco has picked up his game despite some pressure on the part of the Arizona Cardinals.
And that's the key, I think that's the reason they got to the gun. He was having some difficulty getting back to his drop points, executing the offense. So the last couple of series, they've gone to the gun to help that.
With the help of the penalty, the Cardinals start at the Ravens' 49. Trouble. He slipped one man, but he's sacked back to the 41-yard line. Bernard Pollard, the safety, takes him down. 5th sack of the game for the Ravens.
We're seeing it from both clubs. Pressure from the outside, from the secondary. Pollard coming in. Obviously, Suggs begins it. Pollard gets to clean it up. A lot of pressure on both of these quarterbacks.
Loss of 10 on the play. Crowd responds to the good defensive play. 2nd and 20. 3 wide receivers in. Inside handoff. LaRod Stevens howling up to the 45-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play. Bring up a 3rd and long.
Both these clubs are showing a willingness to bring pressure. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, why wouldn't you do that all the time? It's so effective. Well, when you bring pressure, that leaves a lot of one-on-one matchups on the outside. Very easily could give up a big play, but right now, neither club is able to make those big plays outside one-on-one. I expect to see a lot more pressure to continue to come.
Ravens have their pass rushers in, Kruger and McPhee. Cobb gets time, throwing short to the tight end, Hausler, and he's brought down by Bernard Pollard. Gain of 3. But it'll be a punting situation for the Cardinals.
This is a great open field tackle by Pollard. You know, when you bring the pressure, Sam, and you get those one-on-one matchups, very easily the crossing routes are something you want to go to. You have to have a team that tackles well in the open field. The Ravens certainly have that.
First 3 and out of the game for either team. Zastudil's punt. Chris Carr takes a fair catch at the 12-yard line. Ravens still have a ways to come back. Defense was strong. It's Halloween time. I don't know if I would go as a Tootsie Roll.
You could go as an M&M. We'll make it size proportional, okay?
8th time in the game, the Ravens have started to drive from their 20 or inside their 20. Flacco throwing, and it's incomplete. Michael Adams covering the tight end, Ed Dixon.
Well, Flacco likes to go to Dixon, doesn't he?
Well, he's a big target, and just what we said, you get these one-on-one matchups down the field. Nice break up there late by Adams, but we see Arizona doing the same thing we just saw Baltimore do. Bring pressure, you get the one-on-one matchups. As we said, neither team really able to capitalize on that yet down the field.
He's targeted Ed Dixon 7 times, connected 5. 2nd and 10 from the 12-yard line. Flacco steps up, and that one-handed catch by Anquan Bolden, and he's ruled inbounds. What a grab!
I don't know what you do to defend this. A.J. Jefferson right there just reaching up with the one hand. Looks like he had control through the entire process. This is a spectacular catch.
Oh, man. Gain of 23 on the play. Flacco steps back and throws, and that one is incomplete. That time Jefferson broke it up. Ball popped loose, and Richard Marshall just picked it up, hoping that it might be ruled a fumble. But it's an incomplete pass. Well, Cardinals fans for years saw Anquan Bolden make some great catches.
No, they're calling it a catch and down by contact. So, wow, dodged a bullet there.
And they get the play off, and the quarterback sneaks for Joe Flacco. Got that play off. And it's a first down up at the 47-yard line.
And they're clearly in the no huddle action right now. Flacco continues from the gun. They've got it spread out, continuing to press the pressure package of the Arizona Cardinals.
Flacco to Ricky Williams out of the backfield. Time for an update. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.
Well, look at this. Steven Jackson's 32-yard run doesn't get him into the end zone, but he would score 2 plays later, and the Rams are all over the Saints. It's 24-0 in the 3rd quarter, just like you and Brian predicted, right, Sam?
Penalty called on the Ravens. Andre Garrod, hands to the face.
Right here on the left side, he gets the hands up quickly, right to the face mask right there. When you see the face mask push up like that, it's going to get called. It's those kind of calls. All of a sudden now you put yourself on a 1st and 20 instead of a 1st and 10. Makes a much tougher situation to get back into scoring position where they were previously.
Ball back to the 37. Flacco wants to go deep, and he's got Anquan Bolden at the Cardinals' 34-yard line.
That's got to be a blown coverage out into here. For some reason, he jumps hard inside. No, just thought he was reading the route differently. Bolden staying wide. Flacco keeping it wide to the outside, away from the safety. Again, great footwork. Comes down with possession of the ball, gets both feet in.
Gain of 27. They spot the ball at the 36 of the Cardinals. Blitz coming. Flacco goes outside to Ricky Williams. And Rashad Johnson shoves him out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Flacco now 22 for 35. Anquan Bolden, first time he has faced his former team since he was traded to the Baltimore Ravens by the Cardinals for a couple of draft picks. He's having himself a good game. 6 catches, 124 yards. Flacco puts it up again for Bolden. He makes the catch down at the 12-yard line.
Well, they're loving these jump balls. I think Bolden maybe got away with a little bit of a shove here. But we've seen 3 plays to the outside now that Joe Flacco's saying, look, I'm going to just keep coming back to it. I'm going to throw it high on the sideline, and you're going to come down with it.
And again, he puts it up. This one's incomplete. They are working. Number one, they're going to Bolden, but they're really working on A.J. Jefferson.
I agree. I'm not sure that they shouldn't take Patrick Peterson and match him up with Bolden, because right now, A.J. Jefferson is getting manhandled by the veteran receiver Bolden, and at least Patrick Peterson has those coverage ability, that elite coverage ability I talk about, to match up with Bolden, because right now they're wearing him out.
And they exactly did that.
Yeah, well,
there's Peterson on Bolden. On 2nd and 10, Rice motions out. Flacco with time, throws for Bolden, too high. Peterson had him covered.
Patrick Peterson went as the 5th pick to the Arizona Cardinals. And as I said, right here, you're going to see him he stumbles a little bit coming out here. He has that elite coverage ability I keep talking about. Just a superb athlete. Some people thought he might be the first selection of the draft, notwithstanding what was going to happen with Cam Newton. Clearly, I thought he was the best defensive player coming out of the draft last year.
3rd and 10 for the Ravens at the 11-yard line. Everybody out. Flacco throws incomplete. Flag on the play. Peterson covering Bolden. Let's see what the call is.
Joe Flacco says, I don't care who you put on him. I'm going to go to him. Peterson there. Did he get action?
Oh,
yeah, he got his hand on him. But the question becomes, did you change the action of the receiver? You can put your hand on that upfield shoulder. You can put it on his hip. Did you change the impetus of the receiver? The official there says he did.
Interference, defense. A foul occurred in the end zone. Automatic first down.
1st and goal, Ravens at the 1. Haloti Ngata is in as a tight end. He is eligible on the left side. He blocked earlier for the touchdown run by Ray Rice, who's back in the game. It's Rice, and he is in. Touchdown. Another long drive. This one started at the 12-yard line. An 88-yard drive for the Ravens.
Just a fullback lead leading up. You're going to follow the big fullback Vontae Leach. Again, Ray Rice, that great balance that he has. Take a hit, bump and move, step aside, and still get into the end zone.
What was once 24-3 is now 24-20. The Ravens have scored 17 unanswered points to get back in it with a lot of time left.
How much is Anquan Bolden loving doing this against his former team? It's been the Anquan Bolden show, and give Joe Flacco credit. You know what? I want to keep riding that horse as long as he can come up with it. Arizona tried to adjust by putting Peterson on him, and Flacco said, doesn't matter, I'm still going after my man.
We're still in the 3rd quarter, and Flacco's passed 40 times. So
yeah, that's not normally the equation they want, but right now that's what's working for them.
Yeah, they've gone away from the run and gone to the passing game. Well, remember these guys? Todd Heap is out. Boy, the Cardinals would love to have him in the lineup, but he's out injured. Anquan Bolden against his former team, and he had a great 7 years in Arizona. He's having quite an afternoon against the Cardinals. 7 catches, 145 yards. They're fired up on the bench. There's Todd Heap. Inside. No doubt he wishes he was out on the field. Rod Stevens howling, awaiting the kick from Billy Cundiff. Howling steps up, brings it out from 5 yards deep. Couple of moves, gets to the 20, that's all. The tackle made by Albert McClellan.
Interesting thing that the Ravens are doing, they and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have put their game plans on an iPad. You know it was coming. Here they can put the entire game plan, the playbook, even the review of the officials here. You can thumb through the plays, the players can draw on them as they go, and then obviously integrate the video as well. This is where it's heading. I see where pilots now have iPads instead of those big black bags. Hey, we know that's where it's going.
Cardinals start from the 21-yard line. They need something offensively. Bob in trouble. He's hit. It's up for grabs. It's intercepted. Jameel McClain the Cardinals' 21-yard line. Suggs with the hit on Cobb. McLean with the interception.
You see Suggs coming from the right side. There again, no chip help from the back. He's able to get in there at the last minute. You knew if the Ravens were going to come up with a turnover, that Terrell Suggs was going to be involved.
He's had a good game, and he's all fired up. And now the Ravens with a chance to grab the lead if they can put it in the end zone. Ray Rice to the 17-yard line. What a turnaround in this game.
And this is a tough one for the Arizona Cardinals on the road. They're playing so well, taking advantage of some turnovers. Can you weather this storm? You're up by 4. Now we'll see what happens with this series. But obviously, coming into the game, if you'd have said coming into late in the third quarter, starting the fourth, could we be around a game 24-20? Sure, you'd take it. But it's how did we get to the 20? How did we get to the 24?
It's Rice again, cutting it back. Adrian Wilson was there. The ball down to the 15-yard line. So a change on this possession. The best field position of the game for the Ravens, and they've gone to the ground after the turnover.
Yeah, they got out of the no huddle. They got out of putting Flacco in the gun. Now they're getting into their eye backs and 2 tight ends, trying to see if they can play some smash ball. They'll get back into it, but they're going to need more than that here on this third down.
There's 3rd and 3. 2 tight ends in. Blitz coming. Flacco puts it up for Bolden, and he dropped it. He was involved with Richard Marshall, and he got the flag that he wanted.
Right here now, you could tell the minute he saw Bolden on Marshall. Now there's pushing, grabbing, holding there.
Marshall's holding him all the way.
Yeah, he tried to get away with a little too much, holding that backhand all the way. The minute Joe Flacco saw Marshall on Bolden, you knew that's where he was going.
Pass interference. Number 31 of the defense. Ball we placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
3rd pass interference on the Cardinals in the game. We've come to the end of the third quarter. Interference sets the Ravens up. They're trailing by 4 into the third quarter. Arizona with 21 points in the second quarter had a 24-3 lead. Now it's 24-20. The defense has made its contribution for the Ravens. Arizona's offense has been stalled in the third quarter.
Pass interference, so the ball will be placed at the 3. Because the foul was on the defense in the last time down of that period, Baltimore has a choice of whether to extend by 1 time down or go to the fourth quarter at the ball at the 3. They've chosen to put the ball at the 3, this into the field, first down.
Very well put. I have no idea what he just said or why we're here, but the ball's on the 3-yard line, so let's go to work.
All right. Sam Rosen, Ryan Billick, Laura Oakman here in Baltimore. The Ravens trying to grab the lead, have a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. Elodie Nada, number 92, is eligible at left end. Ray Rice. Here we go, he's in. Touchdown. And the Ravens lead. The Baltimore Ravens have come all the way back.
Again, just getting to the outside. Ray Rice starts downhill, bounces outside, then cuts it back inside. Great block by Vontae Leach, allowing Ray Rice to cut back inside for the score.
Billy Cundon for the extra point. It's good. And the Baltimore Ravens, who were down by 21, now lead by 3, 27-24. First half belonged to Arizona. Second half belongs to the Ravens. Joe Flacco congratulating his receivers, especially Anquan Bolden. Here's the guy doing the heavy work, the dirty work. Vontae Leach leading on the blocking Ray Rice has 3 rushing touchdowns, all short ones, but the man leading the way into the end zone has been Vontae Leach. Billy Cundiff to kick off. By the way, for Ray Rice, that's a career high 3 touchdowns in a game. Rod Stevens howling. 8 yards deep, takes a knee. Second touchback of the game on the kickoff by Billy Cundiff.
Well, Vontae Leach, you just said it, Sam. Unheralded position in the NFL anymore at fullback. Look at the collision here. And this is what you get paid for, to deliver headache after headache, to open up the hole for somebody else. Vontae Leach been doing this a long time in this league. Unheralded position, and one that, quite frankly, has kind of found its way out of the league. But when you got a good one, you know how to use it.
Now, let's see how the Cardinals respond as they start from the 20. Down by 3. Beanie Wells. And a block from Jim Dre. Couple of yard pickup. Ball was down. And we'll go downstairs to the field to Laura Oakman. Laura.
One of the things Ken Whisenhunt told his team at halftime was to keep it up in terms of we withstood the noise. We withstood this emotion of this crowd. Keep it up for the second half. Let me tell you guys, they didn't have to deal with it in the first half. The crowd was so busy booing Joe Flacco and the offense. They were focused on that. This place is cranked up and as loud as they expected it coming out.
You're right about that, Laura. The crowd is back in it. Brandon McKinney is in at nose tackle for the Ravens, number 91. Flacco sends everybody out. Cobb sending everybody out. Connects with Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald up at the 40. He's got a first down.
This is one of the ways to break coverage when you have a Larry Fitzgerald. We've talked about how they know he's the go-to guy. They've put Ed Reed over the top of him a great deal. Here Cobb directing traffic here to try to set up the multi-level throw to see if they can get Larry Fitzgerald open.
Kevin Cobb 7 for 14, 129 yards. Two tight ends in. It's Beanie Wells up to the 44-yard line, a pickup of 3 on the play. Terrell Suggs making the tackle. Suggs has had a solid game with several tackles for loss. He's had a sack. He had the big hit on Cobb that led to the interception.
And he's very solid against the run. A lot of times sack men like Suggs don't get credit for being as good against the run. He's very solid against the run.
3 receivers to the right. Now empty backfield. That's Chester Taylor out of the backfield. That one is almost intercepted by Ray Lewis. He was moving and trying to hold on at the same time. The ball fell out of his hands.
He's like that wide receiver that wants to take off before he has the ball, jumping all over it. He knew exactly where it needed to go, and I was off to score, but no, you got to hold on to the ball. Just can't pull it down.
Cardinals 1 for 6 on third down conversions in the game. And everybody on their feet. Everybody out. Cobb's in trouble. And the ball's loose. Cobb was hit. The ball dropped loose. And it looks as if, let's see.
They're going to have to do some sorting out here.
There were a couple of Ravens around the football, but Cobb may have gotten it back himself.
Just got to protect the ball a little bit better as you're coming out. Bring it closer to the body.
And Cobb got it back.
Yeah, but boy, it is a scramble here. It's going to change hands a few times.
Haloti Ngata forcing the fumble.
As you come out of that kind of melee.
29 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There was a flag on the play, and it is against Cary Williams, the cornerback. Away from the play, and what it does is it keeps the Cardinals alive. It gives them a first down. Oh, big penalty.
That was with the melee and the fumble. We didn't even notice it here. Yeah, he's got a good hold of the jersey. We've seen it all day long. You get that much jersey in your hand, they're going to call it.
Cardinals first down at their own 49 with two tight ends in. The blitz is picked up, the pass incomplete. And a flag. The pass intended for Larry Fitzgerald. Again, it was Cary Williams on the coverage.
They're calling this one offensive. Larry Fitzgerald going to push off at the last minute, kind of shoves him by. It's too bad because there was no way it was going to be completed anyway.
Offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty, automatic correction, still first down.
So that sets the Cardinals back 10 to their own 39. This has been quite a comeback. Cardinals building a big first half lead, cashing in on a couple of turnovers, and then the Ravens coming back to take the lead here in the second half. Beanie Wells in the backfield. Cobb, pump fake, puts it up deep, and it's intercepted by Ed Reed. The pass was overthrown. There's a flag down, and we'll check that out. And we're looking at the safety, Bernard Pollard, who's upset with a call by the official.
They're going to call pass interference here. This is going to be a huge play for the Arizona Cardinal. Ed Reed playing center fielder, picking off the ball, but I think Ladarius Webb got a hold.
Pass interference, defense number 21. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
Ladarius Webb coming out, getting a handful of jersey here on Andre Roberts. That's what pulled him up and allowed Ed Reed to come over the top for the interception.
Only the second pass interference against the Ravens all season. The Cardinals have the most in the league with 9, 3 in today's game. First down, Cardinals at the Ravens 41. Beanie Wells pushing the pile, and a good run down to the 34-yard line. Gain of 7.
Well, this is one of those you grab, I hold, who gets caught? What comes first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. I don't know whether he's holding himself up. I think it was early enough right here on the double move. It was that move right there. Boy, gosh, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'd say that's uncatchable, except Ed Reed did catch it.
Yeah. Second and 3 for the Cardinals. Here comes the blitz. Beanie Wells being chased down the line. Pollard's got him. The safety coming from one side of the field, catching up to Beanie Wells and bringing him down at the 31.
We've seen this all day long. You see Pollard, he's going to come out from the outside, from the extreme outside. He's not there just for pressure in the pass, but to add that extra man in the box to stop the run. Great job coming all the way from the backside, run it down. They're lucky that wasn't stripped for a fumble.
It's a 3rd and 1 for the Cardinals. Jeremy Bridges has replaced Brandon Keith at right tackle for the Cardinals. And now a timeout is called. Arizona calls timeout to talk over a big 3rd and 1 play. Cardinals defenders on the bench. They've seen the lead get away from them as Baltimore has put up some big yardage in the second half. But here for the Cardinals is a 3rd and 1. They have failed on their last 5 third down conversion attempts. Beanie Wells, he's stopped. Great play inside, and it's Terrell Suggs again with his 10th tackle of the game, a career high.
Suggs was just cleaning up on the outside. Watch the push on the inside by Nada, holding off the interior of the line. Nada makes the first hit.
And now the Cardinals will go for it on 4th and less than a yard. Beanie Wells, he's got the first down. Cardinals are 6 for 9 now on 4th down conversions this season. And that was huge. Well, one side didn't work. Beanie went to the left side. He heads for the sideline.
Will continue to probe this defense with the run. They've actually gotten some pretty good push, but they need to take a page out of the Ravens playbook and see if they can get a one-on-one matchup out here with Larry Fitzgerald and win a jump ball.
Now the handoff is to Alfonso Smith in the lineup as Beanie Wells went to the sideline.
Watch Ray Lewis here in the middle. Watch him pull the trigger. He recognizes right now, on the other side. Both of them just fill immediately. Ray Lewis, nobody reads and reacts quicker in the game still than Ray Lewis.
Rod Stevens howling is in the backfield. Full house backfield with a couple of tight ends back there. King and Dre. On 2nd down. Cobb being rushed. Suggs has got him. He stayed on his feet. He did not go down. That pass off the arm of Andre Roberts, incomplete. Great job by Kevin Cobb. Suggs got a piece of him, but not enough to take him down.
You see this mistake all the time. Back into here. When I say you got to have a tight end presence, you better do it in tandem. One guy is not going to be able to do it. They had the 2 tight ends on the edge. Suggs able to beat the outside rush.
Now again, a 3rd down play.
Arizona's confused here. They're not quite sure where they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to be doing.
3rd and 9. They have to get to the 18 for a 1st down. Cobb throws. Diving attempt by Early Doucette. It's incomplete. Lardarius Webb was covering on the play. And now the field goal kicking unit comes on as the Cardinals try to tie this game. We talk about the great linebackers. How about these great middle linebackers? Ray Nitschke of the Packers. Dick Butkus of the Bears. Jack Lambert of the Steelers. Mike Singletary of the Bears. And now Ray Lewis. The other 4 Hall of Famers, Ray Lewis, future Hall of Famer.
No question about it, and that's quite a group to be a part of, but Ray Lewis definitely is among them.
45-yard field goal try by Jay Feely is good. And the Cardinals have tied the game. It's 27-27. Wow. Ravens defense taking a breather after the Cardinals had a 12-play drive and kicked the field goal to tie this game at 27. Cardinals' first points of the 2nd half. And Kevin Cobb with a big play to stay on his feet when he was almost sacked.
That was huge to keep the potential for at least the field goal alive. I'll be interested to see if the Ravens come out in their spread, gun, no huddle approach, or whether they get back into the eye and pound away with Ray Rice.
David Reed on the return for Baltimore. Picks up a block, goes for the outside, and couldn't turn the corner. Richard Marshall rode him out of bounds. Ray Rice had a big first half, 66 yards in the game, 3 touchdowns in the game. After Monday night, when they didn't get him the ball very much. He's run for 66 yards, 47 in the first half, but those touchdown runs have been huge. He has 3 in the game, 5 rushing touchdowns for the season, and 7 touchdowns overall.
Well, they spread out and come out in the gun, so it looks like they intend to pick up where they left off in the previous series.
Flacco waiting, throws short to Ray Rice. Spins and stayed on his feet. The knee never touched the ground. He got some extra yards up to the 28-yard line.
They're going to get him for unsportsman. This is too bad.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Tony, number 27 of the offense. Half the distance for the goal. It will be 2nd down.
The fact that David Carter was standing there, Ray Rice kind of puffs up. This is an unbelievable move. Look at him spin. His knee should have been down about 3 and 4 different times. And I don't know that he was taunting David Carter. I think he just got up and was kind of puffing up a little bit. Look at that spin. Unbelievable.
Wow. Tremendous balance and agility. And then Rice gets up. And he kind of took a look at Carter, and that convinced the official to throw the flag. Flacco wants to go deep. Way downfield for Torrey Smith. Overthrew him. There was the speed of Torrey Smith. He had a couple of steps on Richard Marshall, but the ball was overthrown.
Well, this shows what Torrey Smith can do. He can take that proverbial top off of defense. This is a mismatch here with Marshall and Torrey Smith. Again, now coming up with the catch, that's a different proposition. This kid's got great speed, has been inconsistent. Of course, he had no chance there trying to run that thing down. If he can get some consistency, become a little bit better route runner, he could be that great complement we talked about in the open to Anquan Boldin.
3rd and long. Flacco fires behind Smith, incomplete. So the penalty by Ray Rice really hurts the Ravens.
That was huge. They were about to go from a short yardage. The penalty backed them up, make it now a 3rd and long. This is a big change in field position. If they can get any kind of return, particularly after having just tied the score up, this could be huge for Arizona.
First 3 and out for the Ravens in the game. Sam Cook standing in his own end zone. And a low line drive kick toward the sideline. Picked up by Peterson, and he's out of bounds. But it's good field position for the Cardinals with the game tied. Back in Baltimore, the Ravens come from 21 points down, took the lead. The Cardinals tied it. Ray Rice took a penalty, and his team had to kick the ball away. Now the Cardinals from their own 46.
Continue to bring pressure on almost every snap.
Beanie Wells, nothing there. Terrell Suggs fighting off the block of the tight end, Jeff King. And he made the stop. Strong play by Suggs. 4th tackle for a loss in the game by Terrell Suggs.
At some point, Arizona's going to have to make a play outside with the receiver with as much one-on-one matchup as they're getting, because the Ravens continue to drop the safeties down, primarily Pollard, to bring pressure both in the run and in pass protection.
And a timeout. And Wisenhunt uses a timeout. 1 timeout remaining. Tonight, Animation Domination welcomes its newest member. From Jonah Hill and the executive producer of Family Guy comes Alan Gregory, premiering tonight after The Simpsons on Fox. And animation stuff is really great. Sunday night's a good night on Fox.
I wish I weren't traveling so much.
Hey, there we are.
Yeah, that's no big show.
How about your show?
Look at the lineup I got.
You have great guests.
Every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. You can find us on FoxSports.com. Got Raheem Morris, Ken Wisenhunt. We're not quite as much fun as the animation, but we do talk more football.
That's a great group of guests. 2nd and 12. Loss of 2 on that last play. Jim Dre, tight end motions. Cobb being rushed. Completes to Jeff King. But not much. Got a yard on the play. Ravens defense coming up with a couple of big stops. Tom Zivakowski made the tackle.
Well, it's hard on a quarterback because you're going to keep seeing the pressures until you can hurt it. And so far, Arizona has not been able to take advantage of the matchups, even though the Ravens continue to bring DB pressure after DB pressure.
Cardinals just 3 yards passing in the second half. Here's 3rd and 10.
Showing 0 coverage, then dropping out into cover 2.
Blitz from the outside. Shovel pass to Chester Taylor. And he gets up to the 49, just short of midfield, but short of a first down, and the Cardinals are forced to punt. That was a strong series for the Ravens.
The pressure they've been put on with Kevin Cobb from the linebacker position, from DBs. We talked early about Kevin Cobb struggling to get his rhythm with his footwork, but this is not the group to try to get it against because it's been incessant in terms of the pressure that they've brought.
Dave Zastudil's punt rolls to a stop at the Ravens' 13-yard line. So now, with under 6 minutes remaining, the Ravens have the ball. And a long way to go, but it's been quite a turnaround in the second half.
Clearly what's worked for the Ravens is to spread it out and get into the gun. They got control of the game. They condensed it back a little bit. Clearly here, with the amount of time we have left, they're going to put Joe Flacco in the gun, let him do what he's been doing well. I imagine he's going to look for Anquan Bolton a few times until they can get that stop with just a little bit of Ray Rice, maybe even more in the passing game than the running game.
From the 13, Flacco out of the shotgun. Going outside, completes to Ed Dixon. His other favorite target in this game. Dixon with his 6th catch. Ricky Williams is in the backfield for the Ravens, who go no huddle. This has worked for them very well. And that's a quarterback sneak for the first down.
And they've done that twice. It's interesting because typically on 2nd and 1, you might want to use that as a down to take a shot down the field, get a bigger chunk of yardage. The Ravens clearly content to say, you know what, I just want to get another first down. They've sneaked it twice on 2nd and 1.
Joe Flacco's numbers, 26 for 44. Ray Rice, most of the rushing yardage in the first half with 3 touchdowns here in the second half. And Anquan Bolton, 7 catches, 145. Outside, Ricky Williams pulled out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Ricky Williams, who has quietly become a solid backup to Ray Rice.
That's quite a backup. You not only and you got a penalty.
Roughing the passer. Wow. Number 93, the defense. Third quarterback to the ground unnecessarily. 15 yards, and at the end of the play, first down.
And it was just that pull down at the end, that last little jerking of the jersey to throw him down, that brought about the penalty. Ricky Williams, not only obviously a very good back in this league, but he's a good pass protector. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Great late pickup for the Baltimore Ravens when they got Ricky Williams, who was on the street.
3 wide receivers. First down from the 45. Here's Ricky Williams, tripped up. Good tackle by Michael Adams. Give him a 2-yard gain on the play. But the Ravens, who have a strong kicker in Billy Cundiff, looking to maintain possession, use the clock, and work their way into scoring position.
Once they get in that scoring position, they'll come out of this no huddle because they'll want to take off larger chunks of clock.
Everybody out past the Ray Rice. First down. Down the 43-yard line.
As we said, Ray Rice apt to impact the game as much as a receiver as a runner in the mode that they're in now with this no huddle. And coming from the gun, Ray Rice, one of the best backs out of the backfield in the league.
You talked about touches for Ray Rice, 24 in the game, 17 carries, 7 catches. He wanted 25 to 30. He's right there. Flacco outside for the tight end. Dennis Pitta stays in bounds, gets a couple of extra yards down the 40-yard line. Pickup of 3 on the play.
Just that little slant out combination between the tight end and the wide receiver. The tight ends, Pitta and Dickerson, really are the best number 2 combination for Joe Flacco in tandem. Pretty good combination in both these tight ends.
Todd Heap is gone, but 2 second-year men that were drafted, Dixon and Pitta, are contributing. Flacco throws, and it is dropped. Laquan Williams, the intended receiver, the rookie out of Maryland. The pass was there, he didn't hold on.
Yeah, this would have been a big catch that would have allowed them to get into now an offensive process that would take a little clock down because we're clearly under, or we're coming up on 3 minutes. If they were to get a first down you're going to see them get out of that no huddle, condense the edges, pound the ball a little bit to bring down some clock to then try the game-winning field goal.
Well, here's the 3rd and 7. And flag on the play.
This hurts.
False start. 77 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's on the center, Matt Burke.
He saw the line, or the secondary and the linebackers coming up the line of scrimmage, kind of moved the ball a little bit. Now comes the chess match between Cam Cameron on the left and Ray Horton on the right, on the right, because now they've got to find themselves a good 15 yards to get back into field goal position.
Flacco goes deep for Torrey Smith. He was behind Patrick Peterson, but the pass incomplete. What about that pass on 3rd and 12, going for the big bomb?
Well, he got the matchup, and boy, what a great play by Peterson. He turned, saw where the ball was, and then relocated the wide receiver Smith. That was a bit of a shot, maybe something a little more intermediate to try to get the first down depth in order to, if not the first down, at least give yourself a chance at a field goal.
So now the field position game with the score tied. Sam Cook. Patrick Peterson standing back at his 10-yard line. Returned 182 yards for a touchdown in the first half. Cook's kick. End over end. Bounces at the 1. Stays in the field of play and is down at the 5-yard line. There's a flag on the play. And we'll check that out.
Phenomenal kick by Sam Cook.
With that great end-over-end spin.
It's that reverse rugby kick that allows it to bounce. This is going to be a long road to haul here for Arizona.
Kick. Holding, number 20 of the receiving team. Half the distance from the goal from the end of the kick. First down.
Now what Ken Wisenhunt in Arizona here, you can see just a late hold, really backs them up. Ken Wisenhunt has to be very careful because the clock is a factor. It's not a matter of not only trying to drive the length of the field against the best defense in the league, but we do not want to have to punt it back. You're going to give up good field position if they get a 3-and-out from here.
The ball is back at the 2-yard line. Maybe the 2.5-yard line. 2.5 yards.
It may be risky, but I think Arizona needs to take a shot here. If they just try to pound their way out and then punt from here, they're going to put the Ravens back in field goal position. They have to do something aggressive to get off the shadow of their own goal line.
Cardinals have 1 timeout remaining. Beanie Wells in the backfield with a tight end Jim Gray and his movement across the line. Looks like a false start.
False start. Number 71 of the offense. Half the distance to goal. Still first down.
Tough to hear down there. The crowd loud. The ball is back to the 1-yard line.
You have to come up with a quick snap count. You're not going to have the ability to check anything. They've got to take a shot down the field.
2 tight ends to the left. Beanie Wells, the running back. And it's Wells coming out of the end zone and crossing the 5-yard line, gets up to the 7. Gain of 6 on the play. And it gives Arizona a little breathing room. The game tied with under 3 minutes remaining. Arizona 1 timeout. Ravens have all 3 of their timeouts.
This is going to play out very well for the Ravens if they can get them here indeed in the 3-and-out.
Second down. Beanie Wells is brought down. And we welcome those of you who are watching Minnesota at Carolina. The Vikings winning that game. Sam Rosen, Brian Billick, Laura Oakman here in Baltimore in a tremendous game. The Arizona Cardinals at one point led 24-3 in the first half, 24-6 at halftime. The Ravens rallied to take a 27-24 lead. The Cardinals kicked a field goal to tie it. And right now the Cardinals face a 3rd and 5. with 2 minutes remaining. Timeout on the field. The game tied. We'll be right back. There's a big third down for the Arizona Cardinals. They have to get to the 12-yard line for a first down. They go empty backfield. Kevin Cobb has time. Nobody open. Trying to run for it. And he's got the first down. Takes a hard hit from Ed Reed, but he gets enough for the first down.
What a big conversion. Now, still, we're under 2 minutes, and the Ravens have 3 timeouts, so that's going to fit them, or their purposes, I should say. We've already seen what Arizona's mentality is. Running the ball, try to convert on a third down. If indeed they get the conversion here, looks like they did. I imagine the mentality is going to be the same. The Ravens will be content to let them do that, use the timeouts, because the punt and the change in field position should give them time to get in position for a field goal.
Cardinals only 1 timeout remaining. Got a long way to go. Ravens defense has come up big in the second half. Beanie Wells in the backfield. Cobb puts it up low, incomplete. Trying to get it to Andre Roberts. Kevin Cobb 10 for 21 in the game. 154 yards. There's been balance to the Arizona attack. Their offense got a big boost from a couple of turnovers. They turned 2 turnovers in the first half into 14 points to grab that big lead.
Ken Wisnott may be hesitant to throw the ball again because if it's incomplete, it stops the clock.
Jeff King, the tight end, motions. Beanie Wells, just a couple of yards up to the 15. Here comes another 3rd and long for the Cardinals.
Cardinals are going to let as much time elapse off the clock as they can. See if they can convert on the 3rd down. If not, they punt. They want that clock to wind down as far as they possibly can. Again, the 3 timeouts by the Ravens is huge at this point.
Here's the 3rd down play. Three wide receivers and the tight end split out. Pressure on Cobb. They got him. Paul Kruger with his 2nd sack of the game and the Ravens' 6th of the game. A season high for the Ravens.
Like all day long, pressure comes from the outside. It compresses, it compresses. Kruger able to cut the edge down, drop underneath, and get to Cobb. The subtle loss of yardage is big here because it's going to give the Ravens an additional 5-10 yards in field position.
And the Ravens have used one of their timeouts. 1:02 remaining in regulation time with the game tied. And the good pass rush, the pressure on Kevin Cobb coming through. 6 sacks in the game for the Ravens. Chris Carr is back at his own 44-yard line.
Darius Webb has not been back there since that hit he took in the opening quarter.
Dave Zastudil gets it away. Carr at his own 48, avoids 1 man. And he dives forward across the 45 to the 44. The Ravens are in excellent field position to try and set up a game-winning field goal by Billy Cundiff.
Clearly here we're going to see them in a more conventional lineup than the no huddle Flacco in the gun routine we've seen this whole second half. They only need about 10 yards to get in reasonable field goal position for Billy Cundiff. They have a lot of faith I expect we're going to see a lot of, oh, I'm wrong. Look at this. They're all still in the gun. This surprises me. I thought they'd stay conventional and try to push themselves into field goal position.
Outside to the tight end. Dennis Pitta, he's out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Pickup of 3 on the play, and again, no huddle. It's the offense that has really worked for the Ravens and gotten them going in the second half.
Use that to get themselves started. Now they've gone back into the huddle. Again, the clock is in their favor. They've got the 2 timeouts. Still into the gun. A bit surprising, but it has been productive.
Joe Flacco has passed 50 times in the game, completed 30, both career highs. Blitz coming. He goes deep. And there's caught by Torrey Smith. Out of bounds at the 5-yard line. They finally made that play happen.
Gutty call. Richard Marshall, they've been going after him all day long. Just an easy fade route to Torrey Smith. He's got that explosive speed. Gutty call by Cam Cameron when all he needed was 10 or so yards to get in field goal position for Billy Cundiff. Gutty call by the offensive coordinator.
The rookie Torrey Smith with a great catch. First and goal at the 5. Ray Rice. Not much on the play, maybe half a yard. Dan Williams, the nose tackle, with a tackle. We welcome those of you who are watching the St. Louis Rams and the New Orleans Saints. The Rams with their first win of the season right here in Baltimore. The Ravens put themselves in scoring position on a 36-yard pass from Joe Flacco to Torrey Smith.
And they're in a great position here. They're just going to play it out here. Rely on Billy Cundiff to come in and get a win. Huge come-from-behind win at home. Didn't go quite the way they thought it was going to go, but they gained something today by emotionally coming back in the way that they did.
Now they have to protect the football.
Absolutely. I imagine they're going to get that done. You're not going to see anything fancy or dramatic here.
Second and goal. And yes, Flacco just falls down between the hash marks to line it up.
They've got the timeout to obviously bring the clock down. Give themselves position because it still is only 3rd down. Some coaches will leave yourself time in case there's a missed snap on the field goal attempt, or you'll bring it down to where there's no time left on the clock after you try the field goal. That's exactly what they're going to do here.
They're taking it right down to 3 seconds, and they've called a timeout. And these two teams in their history, they haven't played much. This is only the 5th meeting all time, but they've had some last-second finishes. That was Joe Nedney, the first time the teams met. The last time they met in 2007, who was the coach? Brian Billick.
I'm still just now sleeping through the night after that one. So, it has been some close games. And we talked about the fact that the history of what Ken Wisnut coming from Pittsburgh, Ray Horton, his defensive coordinator from Pittsburgh, there's some familiarity. Baltimore goes back and plays Pittsburgh next week. Arizona just played Pittsburgh last week. Makes for an interesting storyline.
This is a 25-yard field goal to win it. Billy Cundiff. Morgan Cox is the long snapper. The holder is Sam Cook. The kick is good, and the Ravens win. The Baltimore Ravens, who were down 21 points in the first half, have come all the way back and defeated the Arizona Cardinals 30-27. We'll be back in Baltimore in just a moment.